What's up, y'all? You already know it's Mr. Hood Love Mikey B. And this is the Hood Love Network, where you live, love, and learn. With Mikey B, I'm just being honest. First live, you know what I'm saying? First live on this new channel. So salute to everybody that pulls up, pops out for this, yo. Listen. Today, I'm going to be reacting to 50 Cent, man. He bought the building. He bought the building. Yo, it's crazy. I'm not going to lie. Today I'm going to be reacting to 50 Cent buying a building from under the IFC building from under Jim Jones, right under his nose. You heard? It's nasty. It's crazy out here. It's crazy in these streets. I'm not gonna lie. 50 is like, 50 gotta be like the illest troll ever. He gotta be the illest. He gotta have the record for being like the king of all trolls. You know what I'm saying? This is nasty work, man. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't expect this. I know 50 was getting a lot of stuff, and he probably want to do, some. I know nobody's seen this coming. He let Jimmy is punching the air right now, like no. Jimmy is punching the air. He gotta be punching the air right now wherever he's at. You heard? 50's talking big mess right now. 50 is talking big mess. Fix them doors by Monday or else. It's wild out here. It's wild. I ain't gonna lie. It's wild. It's wild. It's wild work out here. It's wild. It's wild work out here. You know what I'm saying? So 50, he made a post. I ain't gonna lie. He's working so hard out here. He working so hard out here. It's like he one of the hardest working men. He's one of the hardest working men out here. I don't even understand how he gets to do this and still be. Ron, what up? Salute to everybody pulling up in the building. Y'all know what it is, man. Share the live. Subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what it is, man. Subscribe to the channel. Share the live. Hit the like button. Get us in the algorithm. Let's get this channel going. Let's get this channel popping. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Look. I'm not going to lie, bro. You don't want to mess with 50, bro. If your ducks is not in order, and even if they are, and you got skeletons or something, 50 ain't the one, you heard? 50's not the one. Look, 50 got the owner. 50's in the club with the owner. 50's in the club with the owner. This is who he had on the phone all this time. 50 been scheming. 50 been scheming with the owner the whole time, talking to the owner. This is how he been getting the videos. This is how he been getting all of this stuff. This is a club. This is a club setting. 50 outside. He got the club. He got the owner from the Bronx outside. He looks happy. He looks happy to be in a partnership with 50 now, getting his money. Jim Jones got to be punching the air, you heard? And 50 got like every angle. I think 50 he owns the building already, so he has access to the cameras. I think 50 has his own access to the cameras at this point right now. Because 50 got all kind of angles. He got all kind of, and Jim Jones' hair looks crazy. I don't know if he was going to get a haircut or get braided or something, but his hair looks wild. I ain't going to lie. His hair looks wild. It's all kind of angles. The mule kicks he got the mule kicks going. 50, you cut the light. I wonder if Jim knew all along. I wonder if Jim Jones knew all along that 50 was in the process of buying a building when he was going through all that stuff. Obviously, this is Jim Jones' fault. He obviously defaulted either on the loan on paying off the lease or paying his bills for, because we seen him have heat problems. He had electricity problems in there. This was like a bad business plan. Don't get me wrong. You give 50 his props for buying it and doing what he's doing with it. But this is all on Jim Jones. This is why you do a business plan before you start a business. I think Jim Jones went into this business half-cocked. I don't think he had the proper finances for a building like this in the Bronx. Any buildings like this in New York is going to cost money. So, I 50 is just capitalizing on all the mistakes that Jim Jones made. You see what I'm saying? 50 just capitalizing at this point. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is a big drop right here. This is like what you doing, Jimmy? Like, come on. You got these guys with you, Fab, Mano, all these guys up in there with you. And I know it was your building. We could see that from the lease. From the lease, it was to you. You were the only person on the lease. But you gotta when you go into, and for everybody, for entrepreneurs out there, when you start going into these businesses, you gotta have your ducks in order. You must have your ducks in order. You can't be going in, especially buying a building like that. I had made some videos. I had made a video a while ago about Jim Jones and what he was doing with IFC. I had made a video about this a while ago. And Jim Jones really, you could tell that he didn't have the finances for what he was doing. You could tell he didn't have them. He had Queens Flip in there. He was pointing around the space and telling Queens Flip everything that he was going to have. I'm going to have this over here in this section. I'm going to have that over there in that section. For the things that he was talking about having, though, if you got the money, then you can have that tomorrow. So obviously the finances were not there from the beginning. Obviously the finances weren't there. So that's Jimmy's fault for not doing the proper business, not doing the proper, proper business plan. All these things are outlined in a good business plan. How much is it going to cost? How long it's going to take to recoup your money? Exit strategies, investors. These things are not things that a businessman like Jim Jones is supposed to know. It takes 3 to 5 years for small business to become successful. That's like really the time. IFC, I don't even think it didn't even have a year. It didn't even make it a year. I think he had great plans. From what I heard, he had really good plans. And I wish I don't want to see his business go down. I'm not here to wish or pray on anybody's downfall. But I think this is just a bad investment. It was bad business. He said he was going to have the podcasts over here, show over there. You could shoot videos over here. And he really wasn't, he was still working. Matter of fact, hold on, let me pull up Jim Jones. Pull up Jim Jones real quick. He was still working on a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? But it's Friday, man. You know we going. I seen him in there doing like work on the IFC. Like, look, he's working. He's the one doing all the work instead of having construction workers in there, which tells me that his finances was wrong from the beginning. He's painting. I seen him doing construction with hammer and nails. And, growing up in my youth, I grew up with, people with businesses in my family or closely connected to my family. So I know what it takes to make a business go. Sometimes you got to get out there and pick up that hammer and nails. Sometimes you got to pick up that paintbrush and you might got to paint yourself. But in a studio that big, and in all the things that he wanted to do, for something that size, you got to spend money, or it's going to take you forever, and it's going to stop you from you spending money. You spending money and you paying rent, you paying for heat, you paying for electrical, but you can't make money because your studio, all this stuff, all these things that you want to do is not in order. So you can't make no money. You understand what I'm saying? So I think that was really the deficit in what Jim Jones was trying to do. I think he had a great idea, but he didn't have the finances to back it up. A studio that don't take no time to build, that can be done in a week. If you got the money, they can get the equipment. The equipment will be here tomorrow. We're gonna put it together. That don't take no time. For somebody to paint walls, this is like weeks. This stuff takes, he ain't changed the building. So really, it's a financial thing. He didn't have the finances for the building. And sometimes we be in our businesses, we be selfish. He should have got investors. He should have got guys to step in and get money with him and make money with him. Like, all right, yo, Fab, yo, Manu, I'm gonna need this much. You'll be doing this. Y'all gonna be in, or y'all gonna be halfway in. They should have been on the lease. I would have been like, yo, listen, need some money from you. Come on, let's go. We all got to put in and chip in on this, and we want it to be successful. Just like you got to put the work in, you also have to, put the money in. Put some money up and we're going to get money. You know what I'm saying? So that shit is just bad luck, man. You know what I mean? It's a bad luck. But yo, it's Friday, man. We lit. Check it out. Look. I seen Jim Jones doing the karate, right? He karate chopped. It looked like he karate chopped the lease. You heard? He karate chopped the eviction notice. This is the eviction notice. He's karate chopping the eviction notice. Yo, that was a good chop. That was a good chop right there. But I know now that he heard 50 bought this building. 50 owns the joint now. You got to do a lot more karate chops now, Jim Jones. You're going to have to kick. You're going to have to do a lot more kicks. You're going to have to kick the whole building down now. Jimmy, listen, Kung Fu Jimmy, we're going to need you to step in here and kick the whole building down now because you don't own it no more. 50 got one up on you. You're going to have to be chopping and kicking a lot more than that little wood lease, whatever you chopped over there. Yo, it's crazy, bro. Hey, yo, Ron. It is wild out here, bro. He's going to have to do a lot more chopping, bro. Let me tell you something. I don't believe 50 is trolling on this. I think 50 went and bought that right from under him. 50 is the ultimate troll. He's not the guy that you want to pick as an enemy. He's not the guy, yo. I'm just saying he's not the guy. You see what he said on that post? If we was friends, none of this wouldn't be happening if we was friends. He said, let's rap about it. Yo, 50 is hilarious, bro. 50 said, damn, bro, this wouldn't happen if we was friends. Want to be friends? I don't know. Let's rap about it. Yo, 50 is a wild troll, yo. Yo, listen, they made diss songs about 50. This is why 50 didn't respond with a diss track when they made that, that track dissing him. Because he was working, he knew he was working something bigger than a song. He like, I'm about to take the building from under you. You know how y'all gonna look in the streets? Bro, this is a bad, I ain't gonna lie, this is a bad look for Harlem. This is a bad look for Jim Jones. This is a bad look, I ain't gonna lie. This is nasty. This is nasty. Jimmy punching the air right now. No! You took IFC. Yo, Jimmy, now you got to do a lot more kicks. And 50 like, yo, listen. You see what he said in that last post? You see what 50 said in that last post? You see what 50 said in that last post, right? Fifty said, Sam is my partner. I own the joint. You're going to fix every door you kick, or I'm going to kick your ass, Jimmy, by Monday. You're destroying my property. Yo, Sam, yo, listen. I ain't going to lie. What I didn't like about the video, Jimmy is crazy. Check this out. This is what I ain't like about the video. I ain't going to lie. So he kicking it down. He almost fell out just now. You seen Jimmy? Jimmy got tired. He put his hands on his knees. He said, oh, man, this is real. He like, this is real right here. Yo, come on, Jimmy. You can't step to the lady. She's just looking out. She hears banging. She's trying to look out. Jim's like, what's up? It's mine. What's up? You got a problem? He try to run down. He mad. He try to run down on the lady. She just want to see what's going on. Somebody kicking the building down. The big bad wolf is blowing the whole building down. I'm just trying to see what's up, what's going on out here in the hallway. I hear, somebody kicking. It sounds like they kicking my door and they kicking in my house. He like, what's up? What's up? He ready to run down on the lady. Yo, B Jizzle, what up? He ready to run down on the lady. Yo, Jimmy is crazy. He's a man possessed. He says, you got a problem, call somebody. Yo, Jim is crazy. How you going to run down on that lady like that, Jim Jones? Come on. Yo, Jim Jones, come on. No women, no kids. Me ain't running down on the ladies. He like, what's up? It's mine. What's up? Call somebody. Yo, Jimmy is wild. Yo, Mike Myers, what's up, y'all? I got to give y'all some wrenches, man. I got to give out some wrenches. Yo, what up? I got to give out some wrenches. We got to build this up right here. Make sure y'all share the live, you heard? Got to give out some wrenches and stuff. Yeah, I got some wrenches. I gave out a couple wrenches. I'm starting to give out the wrenches and stuff right now. You know what I'm saying? But, yo, we got to build this joint up. Yo, check it out. Yo, Jimmy tried to run down on a lady. He was mad. And his hair looked, wow, what happened to Jimmy's head? Pause. Like, what happened to his... Look at Jimmy's hair. Like, yo, what happened to Jimmy's hair? Look, he kicked that door down fast. They got up in there fast. Yo, Jimmy's wild, and I ain't going to front. He like a man possessed right now. He's like a man possessed right now. I'm not going to front. You evicted, Jimmy. What are you doing kicking these doors down? You're not even supposed to be in here. You're trespassing. You better hope Sam don't call the law. You better hope Sam don't want to press no charges, bro, because they got you, bro. Him and 50, they got you right now, bro. This is crazy. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Between Jim Jones and 50, bro, they like a this is like reality TV right here. We all reacted to this is like Love and Hip Hop. This is like a regular show, bro. 50 is like a regular show. Outside of him doing his real show, his Instagram, his post is like a show, bro. Uncle Sam, yo, listen. Uncle Sam, they better hope Sam don't want to press no charge. They kick them doors in. Jimmy, that money is already funny. You might not can't pay for them doors. If you can't pay for them doors, Sam might call authorities. Sam might call. Yo, 50 is wild, bro. I ain't gonna lie. 50 is wild. Every rapper that mess with 50, they pay. Every rapper, everybody that go against 50 is going through it. You know, salute to Ja, salute to everybody over there. Look how he taking them through it too. And I know he ain't even got to say nothing. The stuff that Ja's going through is just dude just outside like that. Sometimes, you ain't got to say nothing. When you're a certain when you're on a certain level, dudes just be activating for certain dudes like 50. He got dudes just going to activate for him. Some dudes got dudes just going to activate regardless for free. They're going to activate, chase a little clout because they know if they do something with you, they do something to a star, it's going to go viral. 50 might hear of it, pop a bottle. You don't know. I ain't going to lie. This is nasty. This is a nasty look. This is a nasty look. I thought IFC was going to go to the next level. Well, I'm not going to lie. Now he got to take his show on a roll. And now he got an eviction. Let me tell you something about an eviction. Once you get an eviction on your credit report, they might not even rent another building to him at all no more. He might got to just go in somebody's barbershop and pay him out of pocket like, yo, listen, trying to use the spot. Here go a couple dollars. He might just got to give out a couple dollars to do his next spot. You know what I mean? Because he didn't buy that building. He didn't buy the building. He was leasing. They might not rent to him no more. Once you get that eviction on your credit report, it's going to be hard to rent and buy in other places. That's the first thing they check. They're like, hold up. What you get evicted for? I owe like $180,000. They said Zip gonna rent him the couch. He need to get on the couch with Zip. Salute to Zip. He need to get on the couch with Zip. He should have thought about that. That would have been cheaper than the IFC. They could have did that IFC shit anyway. He didn't have to buy the building to do that podcast they was doing. And once you got Fabulous, Mano, and Davies, you got staff. You got to pay. You got to pay people now. Oh, word. And they got the video. Mike Myers, you right about that. Mike Myers said, after other landlords see him kicking that door in like he did, nobody going to rent to him. That's true. I ain't even think about that. They can pull the visuals up all over YouTube, all over the internet, everywhere, TikTok, Instagram, everywhere. They can pull this shit up and see you kicking in a door that you were evicted from. Jimmy might not never get no leases no more in New York, nowhere. They're going to look into that. He got an eviction. That's his name. That's on his name and on his company. It's an LLC, but it wasn't rented solely to the LLC. See, he could have evaded that. He could have evaded that, the liability for that, and it wouldn't have went on his personal credit report if he had it directly to the business. But he didn't have it directly to the business. He didn't have it directly to the business. He had it to the business and his name. So he was building a business. He was probably trying to build business credit as well as build his personal credit as well. When you rent and you do things, anytime you put something in your name, like a building or whatever, it helps build your credit. So he was probably building the credit for his business and himself. This is nasty. I ain't gonna lie, this is nasty. Come on, Jimmy. They're gonna have to change the balls. They're gonna have to change the balls. They're gonna have to change. They're gonna have to change the ball. They're gonna have to change it up. Word up. They're gonna have to change that up because, yeah, he messed that up. He messed that up right there. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know. But what Jimmy had on his head? I don't understand. Like, what was happening with his hair here? Like, what was going on with Jimmy's hair? Look at his hair. Like, Jim Jones' hair looks crazy. Like, what was you doing, Jimmy? You was on the way to get your. What is on? He looked like Coolio. He looked like Coolio. Yeah, but yeah, I understand putting the building in somebody else's name, but that ain't gonna always work out. You're a BG. Yeah, you're right. But when you're doing business, that means somebody else is getting the credit for your business. Somebody else is getting everything that you're supposed to be getting. Let me tell you something. Everything I got is in my name and my wife's name. The stuff that we own it together. Ownership without credit for it, that's what builds your credit. When you own, when you rent, when you lease, all that stuff builds your credit. That goes in your credit report. So you got to have stuff in your name. I'm not gonna that's from the 80s. That's from the 80s and the 90s, the 70s or something, when everybody was putting everything in everybody's name. If you're doing that in 2025, 2026, you are an idiot. And I'm not saying, I understand, some people don't know and they don't have the means, but as soon as possible, you're supposed to put everything and get everything in your name. Everything in your name. Like, I don't roll like that. I don't roll like that. You don't own nothing. You don't got nothing. Nah, we don't do that. This ain't the 80s and 90s. I work. I make money, legitimate money. I don't got to hide my money. I don't got to hide stuff that I do invest. You know what I mean? All my stuff is legitimate. I'm not doing nothing under the table. I'm not doing no side stuff. I'm not doing none of that. So you got to have stuff in your name. When I came home, I made sure everything I was doing, everything was in my name. All the stuff that I was buying, the cars, renting, businesses, whatever, I went to them banks. I made sure everything was in my name. And that helped my credit. That built my credit. So make sure y'all putting stuff in your name. You got to have, stuff in your name. But it's nasty work, especially with these businesses. I've seen people, when you put stuff in other people's names, at any time they can take that stuff. I seen dudes put cars in girls' names. You slide on something, she hear you clapping cheeks or whatever. It could be a lie. Next thing you know, you driving down the street, police pulling you over, talking about you in a stolen car. It's my car. Nah. Susan Sarandon said this car is stolen. This is her car, and you stole it from her. Once it's in her name, she can say you stole it. I seen this happen to dudes. I seen that happen to dudes when they girls and they broke up or whatever they was going on with their girls. I seen it happen a bunch of different times, bro. Them girls, once you start playing games and they think it's a relationship is over, all right, this car, all right, this mine's. 911. Yeah, I had an ex-boyfriend. Yeah, he got my car. He stole my car. He won't bring it back. Oh yeah. All right. You reporting the car stolen? Yes, sir. I am reporting the car stolen. And then she ain't got to press charges, but now the car's hers. Whatever whatever leases or whatever mortgage you was paying, she gonna pay. It's in her name, and it's not in yours. You're not even a co-signer. You're not even co-signed on that joint. You got to at least co-sign. You got to at least co-sign. You got to have your name on that stuff, on your stuff you buying out here. You got to have your name somewhere on that stuff. You heard? Yo, you hear Shayna talking her talk? Shayna said he ain't paid mortgage for 10 years. Now y'all think he about to pay a lease? Yo, look, because that's true. He got evicted from a house. I forgot. Him and Chrissy had a house. I don't know, they divorced or whatever. And they got evicted from that house. So Jimmy got a few evictions right now. Jimmy is not going to be able to buy or rent nowhere. He better keep whatever he got going on. He better keep that active. He better keep that situation active, whatever he got going on. Word up. He better keep that situation active because he play around and got to go somewhere and get something new. If he don't got cash on deck, the whole thing, nobody might not give him a loan. Nobody might rent or lease to him no more. That was in under 2 years. When did him and, hold on, hey Siri, when did Jim Jones and Chrissy get evicted for a lease or mortgage? All right, Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin's New Jersey mansion was foreclosed
in 2019 after they failed to pay the mortgage since 2010. The property was sold at auction for $100.
Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin's New Jersey mansion was foreclosed in 2019 after they failed to pay the mortgage since 2010. That's what Shayna was talking about. It's right here. It's right here. I'm just holding it because it might disappear. But guess what? After they didn't pay the mortgage for almost 10 years, the property was sold at auction for $100. What kind of mansion was this? How did they sell a mansion for $100? What kind of mansion was that?
The $100 price was a technicality from the
They said the $100 price was a technicality from the sheriff's foreclosure auction. In cases like this, the bank often buys the property back for a nominal amount to satisfy the legal process since there were no other bidders. The couple still owned over $1.2 million in mortgage debt, even though the house sold for $100 on paper. So Jim Jones owed 1.2 in mortgage debt, but the bank bought the house back for $100. 1.2 in mortgage debt? Jimmy, what happened? You make Harlem get money. Jimmy, what are you doing? What are you doing out here, Jimmy? Yo, it's nasty, bro. No, it's nasty out here. 1.2K? 1.2 million? Excuse me. 1.2 million? Jim Jones, man. Come on, man. Come on, Jimmy. From Harlem, you get money. I know Max B. I know Max B is doing all kind of funny, strange dances right now. I know he's doing all kind of funny dances right now. He gotta be drinking and cracking up right now. I know Max B is doing the money dance right now. You need some of this, Jimmy? I tried to be friends when I came home. I tried to squash it. You ain't want to squash it? Max B got the money gun right now. You need some of this, Jimmy? This is what you need right here. Jimmy can't talk that money no more. He can't talk that money no more. I can't front. Jimmy can't talk that money no more. You heard? He can't talk that money no more. That's nasty. I ain't gonna lie, that's nasty work out here, you heard? Oh my goodness. Sam and 50. Come on, Jimmy. Fat. Let me tell you something. What's even worse about all of this is that you got 4 New York rappers in this one building. Come on. Fab. Come on, Mano. Davies. What are y'all doing? Like, come on. Y'all was supposed to back them up. Y'all getting money with them. Y'all talking at brothers up there. Y'all was supposed to back them. How much you need, bro? How much? How much you need? 500,000. Like, hold up, bro. You need 500,000? I had 1,500 for you. What you mean 500,000? Wait a minute, I ain't signing up for that. If you needed a couple racks, 2 racks, 3 racks, I could have gave you a few racks. You know what I mean? 10 piece. 500,000? Yo, that other phone call with 50 and Sam. Yo, that phone call with 50 and Sam. Sam said, Sam is about his money. Sam got bread. You heard? The Asian dude, Sam, he got money. Sam told 50, he like, yeah, he owed me between 80 and 180,000. Let me tell you something. You know somebody got money when they don't know how much people owe them. If I can mistake 100,000, like if I could just miss $100,000, like he might owe me 80, but it might be more closer to 200,000. If you don't even know that, that means a lot of people owe you a lot of money, and it's really not, just a regular business day for you. It's a regular day for Sam. People owe Sam money. Sam is getting money. Sam probably owes a bunch of property in New York. Sam is probably a big-time millionaire. Sam is probably a big-time millionaire. He owns that building in the Bronx. He probably owns buildings all over New York. I like Sam. I like Sam. Sam gave Jimmy a shot. Jimmy he got the lease. He was able to go in there, get the lease, do what he got to do. And he fumbled the whole bag. Why you ain't tell Queens Flip to put some money up? I see Queens Flip in there with the cameras talking his talk. Why you ain't telling that? Jules. Where's Jules Santana? Jewels. You beefing with Freaky Zeke. You beefing with Cam. Who wasn't he beefing with? Hold on. Let me see. I don't know. Fab and Mano. Fab got it. I don't know about Mano too much. I don't know, I don't know about Mano or Dave East. I know they getting their money too. They getting their little bags and stuff, but I don't know what they got to give, or I don't really know their business and stuff like that. But they wasn't supposed to let this thing IFC. Let's rap about it. They wasn't supposed to let it just go down like this. This is nasty work. No investors, no friends. Didn't Kanye West just give Jim Jones like $2 million, $1 million or $2 million? He made a phone call for Jim Jones or something. Didn't Jim Jones just get $2 million from Kanye? Am I bugging? Or did Kanye just give him $1 million or $2 million? Put a 1 in the chat if he gave him $1 million or $2 million. Put a 2 if I'm wrong. Somebody let me know. I thought Kanye just gave Jim Jones $2 million. Probably $4 million in the hotel. Oh, he was probably so he gave that 2, that 4. Oh, he gave that he Peter paid Paul. So he gave that million, he gave them millions right back. That $2 million that Kanye paid him, he had to pay it straight off. Come on, Jimmy. Come on, Jimmy. I know he just got $2 million. I know I ain't bugging. I know Kanye was just mad at him for not being able to do a PDF and send him the clothing for the biz they had together for $2 million. So it's nasty work out in these streets, you heard? Let me tell you something. You got a lot of dudes in New York and around the world that's, I'm going to say, eaters. They eating these rappers up out here. Pause. But no pause. These dudes and the rappers is broke. You better off just getting a job and living your own life and doing what you got to do, bro. You chasing these rappers around. These rappers don't got no money. Y'all eating up a bunch of broke dudes that got jewelry. They got jewelry that's probably fake. Some of it's probably fake. They might got a real piece here or there. Y'all dudes just eating all these rappers and they don't got no bread. They're not positioning y'all. Y'all dudes be following these dudes for 10 years and 20 years and being under these dudes' nuts and going straight to jail because y'all be going to jail. They be going to the bag and y'all be going to jail. I rarely see these dudes that are part of these entourages turn that into success. It's a rarity. It's a rarity. I rarely see a dude that's a part of an entourage become the big man. And let me tell you why that is. You can't be the man if you under the man's nuts. You can't be Jay-Z if you are under, if you Jay-Z's assist, if you Jay-Z's store boy, if you Jay-Z's Uda in the hood, you can't be Jay-Z like that. Why you think I don't be under nuts? I don't do that because I know if I'm trying to make it to the next level, I can't be under you. No, I gotta have a clear view of where I'm going so I could be like you. I'm not trying to be under you, and we can be cool and we can be partners. But I don't do D. I don't D-ride. I don't do none of that. Don't get me wrong. I show love. I show support. I pay homage. I do all those things. For rappers from my community, from dudes that I dealt with in the past and stuff like that. But I'm not no entourage, D-riding type of dude. I'll pull up and show support. I show love to my peoples. If, you did the right thing by me, you know what I'm saying? You stay solid, then I'll support you. Let me support the bro. Let me pop out. Let me pull up. Let me do whatever. Let me a couple dollars. Let me send some money his way. I'll be doing that right now behind the scenes. Studios, clothing. Yo, yeah, get some clothing. Spend a couple dollars on some clothing from a bro, from people that got their own little clothing lines going and stuff like that. I always do that type of stuff. But being a do-boy, being a lap dancer, being a D-rider, I can't do none of that. I ain't doing none of that. I don't care. I'd rather come out here and work like a man and get it on my own before I go and be. A lot of these dudes got in position because they was good do-boys. They was good D-riders. That's just the facts. Clowns. Dudes clowning them in them rooms. They getting around dudes. You like the mascot. You the clown. You the do-boy. You know what I'm saying? I can't give it up like that. I'd rather come up here, make my content, dudes say whatever they want to say, goofy, whatever. At least I'm getting my own money. I don't gotta ask you for nothing. I don't gotta look to you. At least I'm working, at least I'm doing my own thing. You know what I'm saying? We gotta be independent. We gotta be grown men and grown women out here. Straight up. Tavon Millie, you done no rise up, Bertrand. Appreciate you for tapping in. Salute, King. Salute. Word up. But that's how I think, bro. I'm not doing that. You know, we link together as men. You know, men and women, and you know, we making money together. We on a partnership. We getting money, or even if you the boss, I don't mind if you the boss and we getting money together. But it's going to be in a position of, I'm not going to be in a position like I'm a do boy or I'm under you, or nah, I don't do none of that. I'm my own man. I move on my own. I got my own situation. I got my own stuff. You know what I'm saying? If I gotta work, I don't got no problem with that. I'm gonna get money. I'm gonna pay my bills. I'm gonna do whatever I gotta do to make sure my situation is correct. And it don't involve prison. I'm too smart for that shit. I'm just being honest. I'm too smart for me committing crimes. I don't gotta do that. I'm smart. Just being honest. I prepared myself for this time and success and for all the things that I do right now. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm falling short, I got real people, real family members, a strong wife. You know what I mean? I got real people in my corner that's going to be like, yo, nah, don't do that. Do this. You know what I'm saying? It's important to always keep. They say if you're the biggest fish in your pond, get a bigger pond. It's important to have elders, OGs, somebody that you can look up to no matter how old you are. Let me tell you something. It's a difference between you being a mentee, meaning you have a mentor. There's nothing wrong with having a mentor at whatever age you on. There's nothing wrong with having an elder or having an OG, somebody you could go to with the tough questions that's going to give you a real analysis on whatever you might be going through, a real look that's going to help your life, that's going to help you make the right decisions. We all should have that in our life. We all should have a person like that. If it's your family, if it's your friend's family, it could be somebody's mother, it could be somebody's grandfather, it could be somebody's uncle, it could be an old timer that y'all came up with in the hood that ain't related to nobody. He just an educated, a wise elder. Everybody should have a wise elder they can look up to and talk to and text. And if you don't have one, then you should have one. But that type of relationship is not the same relationship as these dudes that's like groupies for rappers. That's not the same relationship. That is not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That's like what are you here for? What are you here to do? And I'm not saying, dudes got their teams and they got their family members and dudes just taking care of their families. That's a rapper. That's something different. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about them type of people. Your family, your cousin, your uncle, your bro from the streets that you came up with. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about dudes that intentionally go around these dudes just to be D-Rod. A lot of dudes do that. IFC was full, and I'm not saying everybody that's in IFC was on that time, but I'm sure you had a couple of people in there on that time. Right, Tavon Miller. That's right. You gotta be in. So I don't understand, bro. These dudes be chasing these rappers around. These dudes is broke. It's only a few, it's a few major rappers that got real money. Dudes can't even put you in position. Dudes can't open a door for themselves. Dudes can't open a door for themselves. I be seeing rappers with these little schemes. Put you in my story for this much. Do this, do that. If a dude is trying to get $150, $250 out of you, that means he don't got no money, he don't got no motion. If your story is really lit, if your Instagram and your stuff is really lit like that, then really, you should be getting money. You should be monetized on all these different sites and getting money. You don't need my little $150 to put me on your story. If I know you, you'll put me on your story because you're a real dude. And you want to see me grow. You want to see me eat. But these dudes don't want to see nobody else eat. They don't want to use their platforms to help people. It's a few dudes that do. Don't get me wrong. It's a few dudes that do it just on a strength and gonna, patronize the little guy, help out the guy that's on the come up. You got some rappers that would do it. K Slay, R.I.P. to K Slay. He did it a lot. He helped a lot of people. He had a lot of people bigging up K Slay when he had the underground radio. He was the only dude that was breaking artists that weren't major in New York and doing things of that nature. You got some good guys that was doing it. A lot of guys, I know Clue do it. Superstar J is great. Salute to Superstar J, salute to Clue. Those dudes is great as far as if you know them or if you get around them, you get next to them, then they're going to treat you right. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Superstar J is great for that. Superstar J is amazing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all making music or whatever, but if you want to reach out to a real one, then you want to reach out to a Superstar J. You know what I'm saying? He on Sirius Radio. He making his rounds. He getting money. And he's a well-known DJ in New York. That's for the peoples. But that's a rarity. That is a rarity. These dudes is like, it's a rare occasion you're gonna find somebody else like that's just working like that. But yeah, man, it's crazy out here. I ain't gonna lie, this is nasty work. This whole situation is nasty. Jimmy, you messed another bag up, Jimmy. You messed another bag up. Now you lost all the money you invested. You might be getting locked up for trespassing. You kicked the door down. They got you on camera kicking down a bunch of different doors. If Sam want to get on nonsense, Sam can be like, yo, listen, he robbed the spot, broke the lease, kicked the doors in. Here's the cameras. Go get Jimmy. I'm pressing charges. Hopefully Sam, but I wouldn't expect too much. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't expect too much on an arm. I wouldn't expect too much, yo. Just being honest. I wouldn't expect too much. They might be coming to knock at his door. Especially you got other people in a building. You going aggressive at women that's looking at the door. You kicking the whole building down. They probably never heard no sounds like that the whole time that they lived there. You kicking the whole building down. I'm looking out the door to just see what's going on. You pressing ladies in the building. I mean, let me tell you something. For that alone, somebody would try to go the extra mile to get you messed up, to mess your situation up. That's what I'm saying. You kicking the door down. And you got a whole lady looking at her door like, yo, what's going on? It sounds like World War III is going down in here. I'm looking at, what's up? Bro, like, bring it down a notch. Bring it down a notch. No, you on timing. No, you kind of tight. because they defaulted on the lease. But what are you doing? Yeah, you running down on a lady. Like, I ain't gonna lie. If I would have seen that was my building, I would have took exception to that. I would have took exception to that. I would have, whatever we had going on, that was a nasty move, bro. Like, what you running down on a lady for, bro? She's just looking out her door. What you doing? It's a neighbor. You kicking the door. You kicking the building down. Like, of course I'm gonna look at my house and see what's going on. Like, yo, what is that? They kicking in our wall? Like, what is they kicking in? That was nasty work, bro. I'm doing business with these other people. I own the old building. She might complain like, yeah, they ran down on me. They came like they was going to do something to me. That's how people be feeling. And the way that he went, I would have felt like, it was a rundown situation too. Like, what you mean? Like, what are you talking about? That, I don't know, man. I hope Jimmy, I hope he come up out of this, man. But obviously, he got to get his Moses in check when dealing with these people in the streets. And he got to get his business in check because this whole business fell due to him and his shortcomings. He went in with less money than he needed to run the business. That's all that shows. This is a regular business plan. This is business usual in America. You could probably get AI to write you a business plan, a good one. Write me a good business plan for a studio, a podcast, for a building this size. This is how much the buildings cost. What am I going to need for this business to be successful? You could probably ask ChatGPT to do that for you. I don't know, man. Jimmy gotta get his act together. I wonder if everybody else knows. I wonder if Fab, Mano, and Davies knows really the extent of what Jimmy was into. I wonder if he really shared that with them. I wonder if he just kept it on the low and acting like he was still banked up, got the big chains on, coming in drippy every day, fly every day. You know what I mean? I wonder if he really, because some dudes, that be personal. So some dudes just going like, they know now. Mike Myers. They know now, you know? Tavon Miller said now 50 going to have his security and goons in that building waiting for Jim to act up again. Once 50 get in there, whatever he got going on, it's over. Jim is not going back over there. That's over. That's lose-lose. It's going to be armed security in there. They is not going to go over there and act up. 50 know how to deal with it. It's one thing about, like, when you moving in these streets, you know how to deal with these dudes. 50 know how to deal with these dudes. He knows how to deal with them. So he knows how to activate in New York. He know how to move in New York. So if he got a building or what's something in New York, it's going to be right. 50 know how to move in New York. You know what I'm saying? He went at it with all these rappers, a lot of the gangsters in New York. 50 know how to move in New York. He know what it is. He know what it is when he touched the deck, when he touched the soil. He know what it is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes move bad because they just moving bad. But we know we from New York, so we know how it go in the streets. We know what it is. We know what we stepping into. 50 know what he's stepping into. If he bought that building, he know that they ain't gonna act up. They not gonna act up. That would be a fool's move. But a crash dummy, Jim Jones might not do nothing, but you got a bunch of crash dummies out here now. You got a bunch of dudes just, activating for dudes they don't even really know like that. Maybe a couple dollars. You got all these cases, all these dudes just telling on each other on all these cases. Couple dollars. A bunch of these dudes not even getting paid for the work they putting in. These streets is nasty. You know what I mean, dude? You know what I mean? I seen about at least 3 to 5 dudes take the stand on shit they did and say they ain't get paid. They saying they put the work in, whatever they had to do, they did. I seen it across America. They ain't even get paid. Knocking stuff down. Yeah, they said they was gonna give us 20. They ain't give us nothing. I was looking for, you know how many trials I'm hearing that? I'm looking at TV, YouTube. Y'all still believe in these rappers. You better go get a job. You ain't, because you're not working at IFC no more. That's over. IFC is done. You're not working there no more. That's done. That's a done deal. You heard? Yeah, man. But this was a good one, man. Yo, Mike Myers, yeah, we're going to see what Smitty said. I might pop out with Smitty later and cover this story again. I know Smitty said he was going to cover it. I might cover it again later. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, it's nasty out here in these streets, you heard? Jim Jones got IFC. 50 booked IFC from Jim Jones. He let him book the whole spot? But yeah, man, shit is live. You know what I mean? Probably pop back out later. It's Friday night. See what Smitty gonna do. See what's going on. Probably pull up on y'all later. This is my first live over here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure I hit the like button. Make sure I hit the like button, you heard? Share the live to the people, you heard? Subscribe. But yo, listen. Jimmy got a kung fu the whole building. Jimmy, you broke that little stick. I think it was a lease. It was a lease paper on that stick that he broke. Right? It was a lease paper on that stick he broke. Look at Jimmy. Look at Jimmy. That's the lease paper. You see that paper right there? That's the lease. He broke the lease. Look, he really broke the lease. He broke it with his hand. Look. That's the lease. Yo, Jimmy chopped the lease, right? Jimmy chopped the lease in half, right? Now you got to chop the whole building. 50 own the building, Jimmy. You got to chop, karate kick the whole building now. You got to go Super Saiyan. You got to go Dragon Ball Z on the whole building, Jim Jones, you heard? Super Saiyan. We need you to go Super Saiyan and kick the whole building down. At least your side. Your side, what you saying you own? That was the lease. Look at the paper right there. That's the lease he's chopping. That's the lease. Look, that's the lease he's chopping. Jimmy chopped the lease. Oh, man, you got the lease. He chopped the lease. Yo, Jimmy got to go Super Saiyan, you heard? He got the all you can, the whole IFC building now, you heard? Jimmy talking about he about to start selling them big screens right there, them big green screens. Jimmy, you don't even own that green screen no more. Sam own that green screen now. All that stuff you got up in there, Sam owns, you heard? Sam owned that green screen now. I don't know how he gonna get that green screen out of there. But yeah, this was a good one, man. This is my first pop out, you heard? See what Smitty Rock doing. I mean, we probably pop out later Friday night. We're gonna get active, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get active for the night, you know what I mean? We got a few channels we trying to build. Make sure y'all go subscribe to Flatbush Smitty as well. We building that over there. We building Flatbush Smitty as well, you know what I'm saying? So make sure y'all go subscribe. I don't know. We might got more breaking news. I'm coming back. I'll be back. We got more breaking news. I'm pulling back up. 50 is the illest. 50 is the illest troll, man. 50 is the illest troll, man. But I can't call some of that troll. The 50 of law, fear nobody. Destroy your enemies completely. That's what 50's doing. 50's trying to destroy Jim. Laughing and playing, but it's destruction. That's what 50 is about. He's destroying him. Same thing with Diddy. Same thing he trying to do with Hove. That's what 50 is about, destruction. Same. I mean, you see what he did with Big Meech. Just being honest. Big Meech had the whole, he was the guy to 50 flipped. Once 50 flipped, we ain't heard about Big Meech since. If we did hear about him, it was in a nasty way, you heard? It wasn't in good terms. It was in a nasty way, you heard? But salute to y'all, man. This is a good one. Appreciate all y'all for tapping out. Tavon, Miller, Mike Myers, everybody that pulled up. B. Jizzle, Shayna. Yo, the Big 1090, what up? We had unapologetic ignorant up in here. Ron, salute. Ron Buddha. Yo, salute to y'all. But we probably pop out tonight again somewhere. Flatbush Smitty, a lot going on TV. We're going to be somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still early. And there's a lot going on in the hood, you heard? So y'all know we're going to be out here. You know? But this is a good one, man. You already know it's Mr. Hood Love Mikey B and this Hood Love Network where you live, love, and learn. Paul the jury. Word up. But salute to y'all. Thank y'all for subscribing. Make sure y'all share the live. And we're going to be back. I'm going to be live over here more often. This is my first live over here. I'll be live over here more often, you heard? But salute to y'all. Appreciate y'all for tapping in. Probably pop back out with y'all for some more entertainment tonight. Salute.